Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. And on behalf of DD India, we wish you all a very happy, safe and a prosperous Diwali. I'm Preeti Kaur. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Prime Minister Narendra Modi celebrates Diwali with Navy personnel on board INS Vikrant, mentions eliminating Maoist terrorism as a significant milestone thanks to the valor of India's security forces. Festival of Lights, Diwali, being celebrated in India and abroad. President Draupadi Murmu, Vice President C.P. Radhakrishnan and Prime Minister Modi extend Diwali greetings on this occasion. Israel says ceasefire to resume after carrying out dozens of deadly strikes on Hamas positions, accuses Hamas of violating ceasefire. US President Donald Trump says he is not a king, a day after millions of people across the United States take to streets in No King protests, slamming Trump of authoritarianism and unbridled corruption. Continuing his tradition of celebrating Diwali with personnel of Indian Armed Forces, in fact, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Monday visited the INS Vikrant off the coast of Goa and Karwar to celebrate the Festival of Lights with Indian Navy troops. And here on your screens, we see Prime Minister sharing sweets with the personnel who are stationed aboard the INS Vikrant.
कहीं भगवान लिख देना, कहीं रहमान लिख देना। भारत माता की
मेरे दिन बचपन के खेल वो आंगन का उठाया आंचल का उनका काजल।
मेरे आंसुओं की मोती पे मेहरबान लिख देना, मेरे आंसुओं की मोती पे मेहरबान लिख देना, मेरे शरीर के हर हिस्से पे हिंदुस्तान लिख देना। मुझे मंदिर और मस्जिद दोनों प्यारा है, कहीं भगवान लिख देना, कहीं रहमान लिख देना। भारत माता की
मेरे दिन बचपन के खेल वो आंगन का उठाया आंचल का उनका काजल।
मेरे आंसुओं की मोती पे मेहरबान लिख देना, मेरे आंसुओं की मोती पे मेहरबान लिख देना, मेरे शरीर के हर हिस्से पे हिंदुस्तान लिख देना। मुझे मंदिर और मस्जिद दोनों प्यारा है, कहीं भगवान लिख देना, कहीं रहमान लिख देना।
मेरे दिन बचपन के खेल वो आंगन का, खिलाया आंचल का उनका काजल।
मेरे आंसुओं की मोती पे मेहरबान लिख देना, मेरे आंसुओं की मोती पे मेहरबान लिख देना, मेरे शरीर के हर हिस्से पे हिंदुस्तान लिख देना। मुझे मंदिर और मस्जिद दोनों प्यारा है, कहीं भगवान लिख देना, कहीं रहमान लिख देना।
मेरे दिन बचपन के खेल वो आंगन का, खिलाया आंचल का उनका काजल।
मेरे आंसुओं की मोती पे मेहरबान लिख देना, मेरे आंसुओं की मोती पे मेहरबान लिख देना, मेरे शरीर के हर हिस्से पे हिंदुस्तान लिख देना। मुझे मंदिर और मस्जिद दोनों प्यारा है, कहीं भगवान लिख देना, कहीं रहमान लिख देना।
And continuing his tradition of celebrating Diwali with personnel of Indian Armed Forces, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Monday visited INS Vikrant off the coast of Goa and Karwar to celebrate the festival of lights with the Indian Navy troops.
समुद्र की गहरी रात और सुबह का सूर्योदय मेरी दिवाली कई मायनों में खास बन गई है और इसलिए आपके बीच फिर एक बार दिवाली की बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं। आपको भी शुभकामनाएं और आईएनएस विक्रांत की इस वीर भूमि से कोटि कोटि देशवासियों को भी दीपावली की बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं। और खास आपके परिवारजनों को दीपावली की बहुत शुभकामनाएं।
And during his visit, Prime Minister also addressed the Indian Navy personnel and extended his greetings to the nation on Diwali.
दीपावली के पर्व में हर किसी को अपने परिवार के बीच दिवाली मनाने का मन करता है। मुझे भी मेरे परिवारजनों के बीच दिवाली मनाने की आदत हो गई है और इसलिए आप जो मेरे परिवारजन है ना, उनके बीच में दिवाली मनाने चला जाता हूं। आज आपके बीच आया। और मैं भी ये दिवाली मेरे परिवारजनों के साथ मना रहा हूं।
In his address, Prime Minister Modi lauded the Indian Armed Forces for the success of Operation Sindoor, saying the synergy between the Navy, Air Force and the Navy Armed Forces, in fact, forced Pakistan to quickly surrender. Last year, Prime Minister Modi celebrated Diwali with armed forces near the Indo-Pak border in Kutch.
भारतीय नौसेना द्वारा जो भय पैदा किया गया है, भारतीय वायुसेना द्वारा दिखाए गए अद्भुत कौशल ने, भारतीय सेना की जांबाजी ने, तीनों सेनाओं के जबरदस्त समन्वय ने ऑपरेशन सिंदूर में पाकिस्तान को इतनी जल्दी घुटने टेकने पर मजबूर कर दिया था। और इसलिए साथियों, आज मैं फिर एक बार INS विक्रांत की इस पवित्र साधना स्थली से, पराक्रमी स्थली से तीनों सेना के जांबाज जवानों को फिर एक बार सैल्यूट करता हूं।
Calling his visit memorable, the Prime Minister said that he was fortunate to celebrate Diwali with the brave soldiers of the Indian Navy.
जब आपसे निकट रह करके आपकी सांस को अनुभव कर रहा था, आपकी धड़कन को महसूस कर रहा था, आपकी आंखों की वो चमक को देख पा रहा था, तब मैं रात जब सोया, कल थोड़ा जल्दी सोया, जो कभी सोता नहीं हूं, शायद जल्दी सोने का कारण भी ये होगा कि आपको जब कल दिन भर देखा तो भीतर जो संतोष का भाव था, वो नींद मेरी नहीं, संतोष की नींद थी।
Diwali, the festival of lights, is being celebrated across India and abroad with immense joy, devotion and togetherness. The festival marks Lord Ram's return to Ayodhya and the triumph of good over evil. President Draupadi Murmu, Vice President C.P. Radhakrishnan and Prime Minister Narendra Modi extended Diwali greetings to the countrymen and wished happiness, peace and prosperity to all on this auspicious occasion. The Indian Army celebrated Diwali with enthusiasm, lighting earthen lamps, bursting firecrackers and offering prayers. Indian Army soldiers celebrated Diwali on Sunday in Akhnoor region along the line of control by bursting firecrackers and lighting earthen lamps. Along with the festive celebrations, the officers also offered prayers to mark the occasion. In Jammu and Kashmir's Titwal region, Indian Army officers stationed at Asmat-e-Hind celebrated Diwali with locals spreading joy, laughter and festive cheer in the remote border area. Troops of the Border Security Force marked the festival at the Atari border in Amritsar, Punjab. The celebrations began with prayers at a local temple and continued with fireworks and traditional rituals. Meanwhile, Border Security Force personnel celebrated Diwali along the border in Jaisalmer with crackers, candles and earthen lamps, fostering a strong sense of unity. Indian Army celebrations at the border symbolize their commitment to ensuring peace and security for citizens across the country.
आइए दिखाते हैं आपको बॉर्डर पर।
As Diwali illuminates India and the world with vibrant lights and heartfelt traditions, artisans breathe life into the festival's spirit. From glowing diyas to intricate rangolis and delectable sweets, their craftsmanship celebrates heritage and community. DD India's Antara Sinha gets you more in this special report.
Diwali, the festival of lights. It isn't just a celebration. It's a tapestry woven carefully by each and every artisan that puts their heart, mind and soul into each and every creation. In this presentation, let's dive into the lives of artisans who make this festival as magical as it is. The festival of Diwali is a time when every corner sparkles with joy, tradition and creativity. Diwali is celebrated by millions across India and globally. It is a time of light, love and renewal. At its heart are the artisans, the gifted craftspeople who pour their passion into crafting the cherished symbols of Diwali, embodying the spirit of vocal for local by showcasing India's rich heritage through their art. From the vibrant rangoli patterns that dance across doorsteps to the delicate diyas that cast a warm golden glow in homes, each creation tells a story of artistry and tradition. Every diya, every sweet, every rangoli is a testament to India's artisans, the backbone of Diwali. We are celebrating these artisans today. These artisans don't merely craft objects, they breathe life into centuries-old practices. Every swirl of paint, every molded piece of clay is a labor of love that connects families and communities during Diwali.
दिवाली का फेस्टिवल के लिए हमारे पास सारे मोम के दिए लक्ष्मी गणेश कलकत्ता से और लखनऊ से आगरा से सारी जगह हमारे बेस्ट अच्छे कारीगर बैठे हुए हैं। हम वहाँ से माल लेकर आते हैं।
इसको बनाने में लाइक जैसे 2 या फिर 4 आवर्स लग जाते हैं इसको बनाने में, क्योंकि पहले ये पेंट होता है, फिर इस पे मतलब बहुत से ऐसे काम वाम होते हैं, जैसे पीछे हो रहा है गोल्डन वगैरह कर रहे हैं इस पे ब्रश के हेल्प से।
आजकल लोग दिए नहीं, घर के लिए सजावट के लिए भी सब सामान लेते हैं, तो अच्छा लगता है। हमारी मेहनत भी होती है उसमें, हमारे को अच्छा भी लगता है कि लोगों को भी पसंद आती है।
And it's not just diyas. Rangoli artists bring flows to life with bursts of color, while sweet makers craft delectable treats like laddus and jalebis that make Diwali extra sweet.
हर साल आते हैं, लेके जाते हैं यहाँ से खूब सामान, अच्छा मिलता है सामान, हर साल नए देखने को मिलता है।
यही आइटम आप अगर मॉल्स और उसमें लेने जाएंगे, जो आइटम यहाँ पर आपको अवेलेबल 200-250 मैक्सिमम 500 रेंज का मिलेगा, और वहाँ पर जाके वही आइटम जो है 5000 तक भी जा सकता है।
These tireless potters, painters and confectioners are the unsung heroes behind Diwali's brilliance. Their handcrafted treasures, a vibrant reminder of the beauty of community, creativity and the vocal for local movement that honors India's artisanal legacy. This Diwali, as you celebrate with your loved ones, share sweets with your loved ones, decorate your homes with diyas and rangolis, let's take a moment to celebrate each and every artisan that makes this festival even more special. A very happy Diwali to all of you. With camera person Vinod Ojha, this is Antara Sinha for DD India.
The Festival of Lights is also being celebrated across the world by Indian community. In the Netherlands, the Indian community and the local Dutch residents near Amsterdam came together to mark the Festival of Lights with color, food and music. DD India's correspondent Mark Limburg files this report.
In the Netherlands, Diwali is celebrated in several major Dutch cities like The Hague, Eindhoven, Utrecht, Almere and Lelystad, and also here in Amstelveen, just outside Amsterdam, where the air is filled with the colors sounds and flavors of Diwali. From Bollywood dance performances to food stalls serving samosas and chai, this festival has become one of the biggest cultural events in the Netherlands. It's not just about tradition, it's about connection. You can see people from all backgrounds lighting candles, enjoying Indian sweets and joining in the music. For many in the diaspora, Diwali is a reminder of home. And as the celebrations continue here in Amstelveen, it's clear that Diwali has become much more than a festival for the Indian community alone. It's also a bridge between cultures, a chance for people in the Netherlands to experience Indian music, food and traditions up close. I asked the Indian ambassador, Mr. Kumar Tuhin, whether events like this are indeed a good way for more people to discover and connect with India's rich culture.
I'm very happy that such a large community is coming here to celebrate Diwali. Of course, Indian culture is very rich and Diwali is one of the most important festivals. So it gives only a glimpse of our rich cultural heritage and the diversity that India has.
In the heart of the Netherlands, Diwali shines just as brightly. A celebration of light, community and shared joy. From Amstelveen, this is Mark Limburg reporting for DD India.
And Prime Minister Narendra Modi celebrated Diwali on Sunday aboard India's indigenously built aircraft carrier INS Vikrant with personnel of the Indian Navy off the Goa coast. Now this year's Diwali with the Navy continues his decade-long tradition of spending the festival with India's uniformed services. All right, to talk more about it, we're joined in by Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni, former Director General Infantry, and he's joining us. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us on DD India News Hour. Wishing you a very happy, safe, and a prosperous Diwali on behalf of DD India. We saw Prime Minister continuing with the tradition of celebrating Diwali with the armed forces, and this time he chose INS Vikrant, and he talked of, he mentioned Operation Sindoor, he talked of the valor and bravery of the soldiers of the armed forces, and he also talked of how we in our homes sleep peacefully. Not a better day to again boost the morale of our armed forces who sweat it out on, to make us safe.
Thank you very much, and wishing all your crores and crores of viewers a very, very happy Diwali. And it couldn't be better. As always, our Prime Minister has always been very, very keen to celebrate Diwali ever since he's taken over. It is his, desire, endeavor, which he has always ensured also that he celebrates Diwali with the armed forces. And this time comes special. It's a rare thing. I can tell you, Preeti, I've spent night on Vikrant. And I really understand what these aircraft carriers are all about. It's not easy. And there we have the Prime Minister spend a night and then spend the next day following with the naval troops on the INS Vikrant, which is indigenously manufactured, and it's fantastic. I think it actually raises the morale. That speaks volumes of the commitment, dedication, and also it raises the morale of the troops to say that yes, the government is with them, that the leader is with them, he leads from the front. And this is something, I would say, a force multiplier. I take it as a force multiplier because after all said and done, equipment, yes, it counts a lot. We have to be technologically advanced. We have to move with the time, but nothing like the man behind the weapon. And that man behind the weapon is where the Prime Minister seems to be going everywhere. And his stress on Atmanirbhar Bharat, his stress on ensuring that Viksit Bharat 2047 keep pace with it, to his stress again and again that what has been achieved in Operation Sindoor must be continued hereinafter. Because obviously, world over, the situation isn't always as we would wish it to be, but we must make sure that preparation is the best form of defense. And it is in that context when the Prime Minister goes, spends time with the troops and speaks in terms which encourages everybody that here's our Prime Minister right with us, spending a night on INS Vikrant, What more? I doubt very much if anyone has ever spent a night on INS Vikrant, an indigenously manufactured aircraft carrier. Something which, even speaking on BrahMos, we've seen how the Prime Minister of Pakistan was virtually shaking when he was talking about BrahMos, what BrahMos had done, and how their chief had rung him up to say that at night how all the terrorist camps were hit so hard. So it speaks that yes, India has arrived, but we have miles to go, and we must continue with this rapid development. We must ensure that we keep pace with the technological development that's happening. We have to keep pace with cyber, we have to keep pace with space warfare, artificial intelligence, the rare earth minerals that we have. All in all, I think this is something with the stress on Atmanirbhar, the stress on to be able to achieve the aim of $30 trillion economy by 2047. I think they are on the path, the right path.
Yes.
And there could be no more than the Prime Minister himself leading from the front, encouraging troops, encouraging the country, carry on, move on, put in your best. I don't think you could have asked for more. The best times that India has ever seen.
Yes, indeed, these words will fuel the spirit of our armed forces. But even as we speak, we tell our viewers that the visuals which we are showing to you, these were the latest visuals of Prime Minister on board the INS Vikrant. And as Sir has also put, INS Vikrant is the in fact, India's first indigenously built aircraft carrier. And we have also talked about its large size, its capacity to carry up to 30 aircraft, and also its advanced capabilities. It is rightly called the floating city, given the defense systems, the power generation, and also in terms of speed. These are the salient features of INS Vikrant. And also, it also has a fully equipped hospital. It is designed for both offensive and defensive operations. And here we have the latest visuals of Prime Minister Narendra Modi on board INS Vikrant. This is in continuation of keeping with his tradition of celebrating Diwali with the armed forces every year. And this time he chose INS Vikrant. Lieutenant General Kulkarni, I would want you to elaborate more on Prime Minister choosing. All right, for our viewers, Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni is with us, and he will be also spelling out more. But at present, these visuals which we are showing to you, these are the latest visuals of Prime Minister Narendra Modi on board INS Vikrant. He spent the past night on INS Vikrant, and here we see him boosting the morale of the armed forces, and all smiles there. Victorious Operation Sindoor flashing, and
कसम सिंदूर की वतन के गुरूर की कसम सिंदूर की उठा तिरंगा सीने में जब जल थल नभ में पुकार हुई सिंदूर की लाली चमक उठी प्रतिशोध की सीमा पार हुई तन घनन घनन तन घनन घनन तन घनन घनन तन घनन घनन लहरों में भी नौसेना की दुश्मन था निगरानी में सागर की गहराई से भी उतर पड़े कहानी में तिरंगा लहराया ऊंचा देश की जीत और शान हुई सिंदूर की कीमत उस दिन हर आतंकी को भान हुई।
Alright, so these were the latest visuals we are getting for our viewers from INS Vikrant, where Prime Minister was present celebrating Diwali 2025 with the armed forces, with the personnel stationed on INS Vikrant. And we have with us Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni. Sir, you know, when we talk of the timing of this, and also Prime Minister choosing INS Vikrant, India's first indigenously built, aircraft carrier, get us more. What message does it send to the world about India on its course to achieve self-reliance, on its course to achieve Atmanirbharta, and also the way the Indian armed forces, the efforts that have been made to modernize the Indian armed forces, which were mentioned by the Prime Minister also during his address to the personnel stationed at the INS Vikrant?
This is a unique thing. Not many countries in the world can manufacture an aircraft carrier. That we have been able to achieve, to be able to manufacture an aircraft carrier in a fashion all indigenously. And since about 2014, we've added about 40 ships to our fleet, which is a huge step forward. And the need is to ensure that we have a freedom of navigation. And in that context, to be able to have a strong maritime power is a necessity. And in that field, I think we are on the right path. The Atmanirbhar part is very essential. We've seen what's happened between Russia and Ukraine. We've seen what's happening between Israel and Hamas. How much of it is, and if you have to be totally independent of anything, it is very essential that anything and everything, especially for security, must be indigenously manufactured. That indigenization gives us that confidence. It allows us to use the cutting-edge technology. We have, for which reasons, built 2 defense corridors, one in Tamil Nadu, the other in Uttar Pradesh. We are now not only doing that, manufacturing BrahMos on our own and also exporting. So we find that slowly and steadily we intend to have our export going to around 50,000 crores. That itself is a huge step. What at one point of time we were almost importing about 70% of our defense equipment. We are now manufacturing and ensuring that 65% of it is made in India. So that is something very great, because it allows us to enhance our own confidence that yes, we can make it. It allows opportunities for employment. It allows the cutting-edge technology to be absorbed. It also ensures that the PSUs, along with the private industry, along with the academia, along with the startups and the MSMEs, that we can do it and manufacture it in India at a cost which is reasonable and a quality which is international. And it is this what gives us the confidence, and of course the supply chain. The ability to modernize ourselves, the ability to upgrade the systems that we have within us. Because the moment you are dependent on somebody, you find that for whatever the reason, not that the country wouldn't want to give it to us, but we find that America itself got involved into Israel as equipping Israel. What happened? It led to us Tejas getting its engine almost 2 years late. So because of their commitment elsewhere, our commitment took a little lesser priority. So once if you are Atmanirbhar, now we have our own Tejas Mark 1A taken off, we have our own BrahMos missile taken off, we have our own aircraft carriers, our own submarines, our own frigates, our own ships, our own small arms coming up, our own artillery over there, our own Akash, our own communication equipment, our own radars. All of this, our own drones, our own anti-drones. So you find so much of equipment being manufactured within the country to ensure that at no point of time we must be looking at somebody else in hours of crisis. And if we have to become the 3rd largest economy in the world, it's very essential that at least in terms of our national security, in terms to ensure our territorial integrity and sovereignty, we must be Atmanirbhar. This self-reliance, this indigenization gives us that confidence that we don't have to depend on anybody, that we can take on ourselves. We are not here preparing for war. We are ensuring that we prevent the war by being prepared. Because it is very essential that we must be ready at all times. We not go to war. That's not what our aim is. But to ensure that we must not be touched upon. Our economic growth must continue. And that is only possible if we are security-wise fully equipped And that is what gives us the strength that economically also will be there. Number 3 largest economy in the world. Armed forces wise also will be the 4th largest armed forces in the world. Technologically also we will be advanced. We'll be able to absorb this thing. We need data sovereignty. We need space. We need cyber. We need artificial intelligence. All of this, I think it gives us the ability that we can do it in India. And that is what the Prime Minister goes on insisting, telling, conveying that, come on, put in your best, and give to the country the best that you have. He is allowing us to, giving that encouragement, allowing all the necessary, I would say, whatever hindrances that come, he ensures that those are not there. So this, I think, is a big thing. And we must compliment the leadership for that, to be able to make armed forces strong and Atmanirbhar in all matters.
Yes, preparation, as you said, is the best form of self-defense. But then, sir, also, how do you gauge the Prime Minister also pointed to the Maoist, the challenge of Maoist insurgency, which the government successfully addressed, and how the districts now, which in fact earlier had faced the menace of Maoist insurgency, are now flourishing with growth and prosperity. Having said that, he also mentioned Operation Sindoor, talking of how India will not tolerate terrorism at all. How do you gauge, or what do you make of this iron hand approach which has been adopted by the government, and to what extent will it further strengthen the image of India on the global page, of a country tolerating no nonsense?
Absolutely. See, we have all along been saying zero tolerance for terrorism. And that zero tolerance for terrorism is a very, very essential thing, because that is why Op Sindoor has been paused. It has not been terminated. Because nobody should mess around with us in terms of security is concerned, and that is amply clear. Time and again, the Prime Minister has said, not just said, they have done it. And that is what has made everybody around us know that we are not saying it, we are also doing it. And in that context, the external security is taken care of. But what we just mentioned about the internal security, the left-wing extremism, at least I recollect it as not very long back, just about 2008, 2009, when almost 400 districts were affected by it. 400 districts were affected very badly. And that was something which was, even I remember those times Prime Minister Manmohan Singh saying that this is something of a priority one. We really need to tackle the internal security part. And today, they're talking about almost eradication of the left-wing extremism. We find surrenders taking over. We are ensuring that by March of next year, we would have got rid of this Maoism and left-wing extremism within the country. Because that is very, very important. Just not the external security, the internal security. Because after all, we have to develop. And if you have to develop and become the 3rd largest economy, there were times when nobody could enter those areas. Entirely, it was there, ran large. And today, we find a footprint everywhere. And the people themselves realize that the nation is developing, the world is looking at us. You found in times of COVID crisis, when everybody else were finding it so difficult, here we were not only being able to take care of our billions, but we've also been able to export to people who required it at a cost which was nothing, peanuts probably, and Prime Minister almost gave it free to so many countries, and each one of them were grateful for the timely assistance that they got from India. So in that context, I find that yes, external security, we need to have armed forces modernized, we need to be looking at it.
Sir, are you there? Yes.
But what the most important thing as I look at it in this entire thing, that Atmanirbhar Bharat, yes, they must be prepared to take on any external threat, and internally we have got rid, hopefully we have got rid of it by March 2026, as Mr. Amit Shah has been saying again and again, that the left-wing extremism, we will be getting eradicated, development will reach there, the people themselves will be coming forward to assist, help, getting educated, getting to know that yes, it's better to be part of the mainstream rather than being seen as a Maoist. So it's a huge step forward internally and externally. Being secured is what will give us the edge to become the 3rd largest economy in the world, and also be able to take care of the territorial integrity and the sovereignty. That means we have to make sure that nothing goes wrong externally and nothing is allowed to go wrong internally. What more can we, what more can the government be able to ensure that yes, then only can we develop and become the third largest economy and grow technologically, grow in a manner that the world looks at us, be it in terms of space, be it in terms of cyber, be it in terms of artificial intelligence, be it in terms of data sovereignty, be it in terms of your rare earth mineral exploitation, anything and everything. Because it is very important that, as they say, na, Shakti mein Shanti. If you are strong, there will be nothing that can ever go wrong. And that is why the stress on Atmanirbhar Bharat, the stress on internal security, the stress to get rid of the left-wing.
Yes, indeed. Sir, you're talking of this stern, iron-hand approach which the government has adopted when we talk of protecting the integrity, the sovereignty, security of the country. But when we talk of, India representing itself on the global page under Prime Minister Narendra Modi, then the focus has always been dialogue. The focus has always been diplomacy. And we've also seen how the world leaders have paid heed to this and also how, in spite of the changed stance, how President Donald Trump has also come forward and said, appreciated Prime Minister Narendra Modi for his leadership and has called him a good friend. After, in fact, the sanctions and the tariff, the tariff so-called war that happened. But then put all this together, what do you make of this other side of the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, which has made the world sit back and notice that, yes, dialogue can also be a way of ending conflicts. The way the world is witnessing the geopolitical crisis in today's times, dialogue can be a driving force of ending conflicts.
Surely, he's been insisting again and again that this is not the age of warfare. This is the age of diplomacy. Anything and everything that we need to do is to be able to sit across and talk. And that came out very clearly when he almost led, not almost, he led from the front in G20. We saw how in Global South, everybody looks at India as something to be able to lead. And this is again and again, he's been saying that despite the tariff war, we can call it by the Americans on us or whatever it be, we've been sticking. There are no permanent friends. There are no permanent enemies, but there are permanent national interests. We cannot get to be able to compromise on our national interest. And that is made very clear. We are not warmongers at all. We insist to say that this is not an era of war. This is an era of talks, diplomacy and peace. That is why he has such good relations with Mr. Putin. He has excellent relations with Zelensky. He has excellent relations with Mr. Netanyahu. He has brilliant relations with the American President, Mr. Trump. So all of them, look at him as someone who's matured, as someone who can lead the world, someone who can ensure peace and talking ensured, and at the same time, not compromise on ensuring our own country's strength. That strength has to be there. Because if we do not have the strength, then the words may not carry that weight. So to be able to, for the words to carry the weight that we to be having, we must have that strength. And that strength, we are developing it slowly, but not to be able to use in terms of warfare. But as we insist and we commit and we say it also, that this is not an era of war. This is an era of peace where everybody, it's a global village. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, it's a very global village. And therefore, each one of us, whatever way we can help each other, yes. But in that also, that indigenization, what we are stressing upon, is in terms of security. In matters of security, we need to ensure that we are not dependent on anybody so that our country grows, our country finally finds a place in the world where we really deserve to be, and also our own people. We have a huge population, and this population also needs to be taken care of and must feel proud of the fact that they are Indian. You find the Indian passport is something that is taken. How many? I think thousands and thousands of people we've been able to bring back to our country every time there are crises the world over. What does that indicate? This shows very clearly that everybody now is looking at India as a nation which is different. It is an old civilization which has made a difference to their thinking, to the diplomacy, to the environment, and we seem to really not just be saying so. We believe in it and follow it very firmly, and therefore everybody in Global South is looking at India to take the lead and to bring peace the world over. I think all of it, I personally look at it that Well, surprisingly, and I must say I'm glad I'm still being able to see all this in a short span of time of ours, everything from what we were to what we are, and hopefully we will see to what we will become. So I think we are on the right path, the right leadership, the right kind of guidance, the right kind of strength for the armed forces, the right kind of technology absorption, the right kind of being given to Atmanirbharta. Something that we ought to have done it long back, but nonetheless, it's never too late. We are on the right path.
Yes, so we have this ambition of self-reliance, we have this ambition of Atmanirbharta for our armed forces, which is indeed ambitious. But then, sir, as part of the armed forces yourself, I would want you to, analyze for us how difficult is it to strive for Atmanirbharta, self-reliance, as you also put it, preparation is the best form of defense. So how difficult is this to, is this a race towards Atmanirbharta, given the uncertain times which we are facing today? We witness 2 conflicts. One of them is still continuing, and we do not see, a proper end to another. So having said that, given the tense geopolitical situation, circumstances which the world is witnessing at present, for a country to target self-reliance and Atmanirbharta in today's times, how difficult is it, and where are we standing now?
See, you said it very rightly. In this uncertain time, it's very essential that we must be Atmanirbhar. Today we do exercises with various countries in the world. We are participating in so many exercises. It gives us, every soldier gives him that pride that the uniform that is wearing is made in India. The helmet that is wearing is made in India. The personal arm that is carrying is made in India. The shoes that is wearing is made in India. The food that he eats is made in India. Imagine all of it. The aircraft that he moves in is also now will be made in India. The pilots are all us. Everybody is us. He doesn't see any foreigner anywhere around. He sees all of us, and amongst them, he speaks in a language that everybody understands. That gives a tremendous boost, because he sees the other person. What kind of weapon is he carrying? What kind of communication set does he have? What kind of food does he eat? How does he live? How does he communicate? How does he, indulge? All this leads to confidence. And that confidence comes when you find that, yes, we are now manufacturing all of it in India and being able to progress it, improve upon it, being an Indian. Now, how much of it has come in the defense field? Almost 65% of the defense manufacturing is now confined to India. And whether it is our MSMEs, whether it is our startups, whether it is our PSUs, whether it is our private industry, whether it is our DRDO participating into it, and all of it is India. And therefore, 65% of the defense manufacturing budget is being spent in India. There are almost 3,000 of these items which cannot be imported. The whole of it, almost 70% of the budget of ours, which is over $75 billion, is to be spent on Indian stuff. So this itself is a huge thing, and no compromise on quality. That is something which everybody of us knows, that just because it is India doesn't mean that it will chalta hai. It is no compromise on quality, at a price which is very, very competitive, and no compromise on quality. That is what allows the confidence. That's what makes us feel proud as soldiers. It makes us feel proud as Indians when we are participating in exercises in foreign countries, that yes, all of it is Indian, and nothing that we are carrying is made in any of these foreign countries. I think that's something, and we are capable. I look at it over the years. We have the ability to absorb technology. We have the strength to manufacture it. We have the skilled manpower to do it, and we have the ability to be able to project ourselves of being a proud Indian, which everybody sees in and around us also, that yes, you've seen during disaster when people had to be brought back to India.
All right, I think we've lost contact there with our guest, but still, nevertheless, we thank him for his opinions and his insights. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today was on board INS Vikrant and he addressed the personnel stationed there. And we had with us Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni, and he also analysed for us the importance of this visit and also what does it mean for the armed forces and the nation as a whole. And also, India's temple town of Ayodhya is glowing as Deepotsav 2025 celebrations continue with full grandeur. Deepotsav 2025 created new Guinness World Record with 2.6 million diyas illuminating 56 ghats across the banks of river Saryu. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath said that the festival of Deepotsav has become a defining identity of northern state of Uttar Pradesh.
Ayodhya is immersed in divine glow, marking the 9th edition of Deepotsav on Sunday, with the temple town creating another Guinness World Record by lighting over 2.6 million diyas across 56 banks of Saryu River.
Tonight, it gives me great pleasure to officially announce that both titles have been broken and this display is officially amazing. Yesterday, 2,128 deer rotations were counted simultaneously, and today, 26,17,215 oil lamps. So congratulations, you are officially amazing.
Themed Ayodhya, city of light and devotion, the ghats were adorned with diya-shaped lights. A major attraction was the 32-feet Pushpak Viman at Ram Ki Pairi, showcasing scenes from the sacred Ramayana. State Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath led the Deepotsav celebrations in Ayodhya with 33,000 volunteers. He lauded the efforts of people of the state.
दीपोत्सव के इस कार्यक्रम को उत्तर प्रदेश की पहचान बनाने के लिए उत्तर प्रदेश के नौजवानों के सामने, उत्तर प्रदेश के नागरिकों के सामने पहचान का संकट न खड़ा हो और कोई भी उनकी आस्था के साथ खिलवाड़ करने का दुस्साहस न कर सके। इसीलिए उत्तर प्रदेश में डबल इंजन की सरकार बनने के बाद से हम लोगों ने लगातार उस प्रकार के प्रयास प्रारंभ किए हैं।
The event showcased Ayodhya's rich culture and devotion, drew massive crowds and significantly boosted tourism. Bureau Report, DD India.
All right, with that, we end this edition of DD India News Hour. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those of you on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. This app is available on both Android and iOS platforms, and you can download the respective QR codes. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. Again, on behalf of DD India, I wish you all a very happy, safe and a prosperous Deepavali. I'm Preeti Kaur signing off, and from all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India News Hour.